I like this question. A faithful follower, his name, Andrew Moss. I think he's in England if I'm not mistaken. Here's what he has to say, a simple question. On a video I made called If the Thought of Hair Loss Bothers You, his comment says this, quote, as a recruiter, do you ever look at a photo of the applicant and decide not to put them forward to the job because of their hair loss, end quote. My immediate, instant, easy answer is never. That never happens, ultimately just because as a professional recruiter, which I am, I never, ever see what the applicants look like. It's all done online, and that's why I have, job security, and that's why my job pays so well, because of the internet. Because I'm looking at resumes on Indeed and all those websites there. I don't see what the people look like. I just look at their skill set, and therefore that's how I'm recruiting. It's all done online. I never see what they look like. But to try to attempt to answer this question and make it a legitimate question in the context, what if I did see a little thumbnail of what they all look like in the recruiting process? Because and what it is it's for people driving trucks, men and women driving trucks for certain routes all across America. That's what I do. I know, but Nick, that's a random job. Well, that's what I do, and it's a good job, and I love what I do. But in theory, if I could see what people look like, would that alter who I chose because they were losing their hair? And assuming that they're men, because we have female applicants as well. But if I looked at all the men, would how they looked change anything? No, because for me to be good at what I do as a recruiter, it's all about their skill set and putting them with the right job that is suitable for their skill set. And if they don't have the right skills, they're not going to qualify. So it's that simple. So it would be completely irrelevant. However, though, they eventually do a face-to-face interview with each manager wherever they are across America. And in that event, they would meet the hiring manager, which wouldn't be me. But I'm trying to put myself in the position of a hiring manager. And I had two candidates, equal application, equal skill set, both very impressive. And then they both came in and interviewed. And one was, let's say he was Norwood 5 and didn't do the cool thing and buzzed it all off. He just kind of had hair that didn't look that great, but he's Norwood 5. And then I had another guy with a perfect head of hair. Now, assuming they were the same age and everything was ultimately the same, I can still tell you that the hair loss thing wouldn't make a difference in my opinion. I mean, selfishly, and this has never been, this is all hypothetical. But ultimately, I think if I had to choose between a guy who had hair and didn't, I'd choose the guy who didn't have hair. That's my honest answer. And the reason for that is a guy who has lost hair has also gained something else. And that's typically that he's gained a new perspective. He's altered his identity for the better. He's been forced to evolve in a positive way. So when everything's equal, for me, I would choose the person that has encountered the most struggles and therefore overcame them. Because part of a job, any job, is that you want to find someone who doesn't need to be micromanaged, who can overcome their own challenges and ask for help when they really need to. So ultimately, in this very hypothetical question, if it came down to being able to see applicants that were equally qualified, I guess we could say that I'd choose the guy with less hair. Because, and it's just like that whole thing about, I got people watching my channel who haven't lost any hair. They're Norwood 1 or maybe 2 at the worst, and they're going to fear hair loss their whole life. They're going to be fearing having an open casket funeral in their late 70s, and that people say, oh, look at that guy, he's starting to bald. They fear that, even though that's one of their fears. Compared to the guy who's already lost it, he doesn't fear that, he already knows it. He already knows he doesn't have hair. So this is all hypothetical. But in the sense, in given an opportunity to discriminate against someone because of their job due to hair loss, I have every reason why I would choose the guy who has less hair. That's my honest answer. It's not, and by the way, I already know how many, 8 dislikes for what I have said in this video. Because there's a lot of people who don't have confidence to watch my videos, and they think that whatever they believe is how I should believe. So they think that naturally I should just be honest, just be real, just tell it. And so they think that I'm lying when I say, I'd rather have a guy that was losing his hair. I'll even extend this in a semi-awkward ending to this video. if I were a girl and there were two guys, so let's say I'm dating, there's two guys, and based on what I knew about them, you know, everything was all the same, I would still choose the guy. If I was a girl, I would choose the guy that had less hair. Because again, if I were a girl, then I know that I'm attracted to confident men and not men that are fearing that they might lose something. I'd rather go with the guy who has already experienced that. Okay, he's already there. He's more mature. That's who I would be attracted to if I were a girl. So there you go. I am sure this video will gain 8 dislikes because people see my honesty as dishonesty, but that's a reflection of their own insecurity. It's simple psychology. 8 dislikes. Make sure that we receive that quota right there. And other comments, instead of putting them there, put them right there. Yeah, that's a good place.